All right, all right. So, Most High Christ bless everybody.
Most High Christ bless you too.
Thank you. Happy Sabbath.
And happy Sabbath to you too.
Thank you. All praises to the Most High Israel, giving us the spirit to come here in fellowship, keep the commandments, and learn what His will is. So, I'd like to give all praises to the Father for that. Right. Welcome everybody to the General Assembly of Israel Sabbath service, where we teach repentance, baptism for remission of sins. What remission is cancellation of debt. What is the debt? The debt what we owe the Father our life for sins. So instead of the Most High bringing a penalty down that can put us to death, instead we repent. We're supposed to be repenting, being baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the way of righteousness, which is the Holy Spirit. And also now becoming a representation of the Holy Spirit by walking in the Spirit. And that's what the lesson pertaining to the new man is supposed to do. It's supposed to help us to understand our life is transitioning. Our life is evolving from the old person to the new person, from the old person to the new person. And it should be happening from faith to faith. And what does that mean from faith to faith? Like we believed in the Most High. The Lord has came through to us. He had came through for us. And because he came through for us, I'm gonna get it. And he delivered us. Then that helps us to understand that the next thing that we need to work on, that God would help us with that too. Now, in order for that to happen, like the Christ said, you have to do something. You have to abide in Him. He said that in John what? Right. He said that in John 15. You have to abide in Him. So you got to stay presently active. If you don't stay presently active, but you do something like have your mind going two ways, like if you still want to be in the streets, then you're going to be unstable. Yeah, you're gonna um, you're gonna be frail. You're not gonna be strong spiritually, mentally, emotionally, right, Bo? So you guys, you have to be in this to win it. You see all this gray? It was once black, just like yours. One point in time, there was no hair on this chin, just like yours. I'm a you, and I knew the truth and was in the truth. Then when I started learning, I stopped cutting my beard. And I can remember somebody saying, "You look like a Hebrew. You look like a Hebrew." That's what they said. The first time I stopped, when the hair started growing, because I used to go to the barber shop, get it all lined up, different haircuts, different styles, the bob, the fade, and the bob. Used to wear it. She like, this hair is nice to be bobbed, all taping and stuff on the sides. Very finicky about who cut my hair. It had to look like I was in Hollywood or something. That's how we used to wear our hairs. And when I didn't cut that beard for the first time, somebody said, "You look like a Hebrew." I never cut it again. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm making some now. And you've made a lot of mistakes, and you've making some now. The difference between me and some of the guys that I learned up under, I've never heard them confess false. I never heard them say anything like this. Never, not one time. I used to think they was robotic, like, oh, you don't this and this. But I would see their faults. I would see their mistakes. I would see the faults and mistakes that they made with me, just like you see the faults and mistakes I make with you. I would see them, but they never would own them. They never would claim them. You know what they used to do? Excuse themselves and accuse us, the members, the other ones, brothers. They would excuse themselves. They would give themselves a pass, while there would be a council of elders. And if one lost control when counseling or advising or dealing with a situation, if he became frantic or this or that, nobody checked him. Nobody put him. No, none of his other elders, none of his brothers would say, "No, don't feel like that. No, don't do that." No, they just let him go. Oh, that's such and such a. That's how he is. My objective is your objective. You want to be right. You you want to grow. I want to grow too, man. So if I say the things that I'm saying to you, like I had one of my elders reach out to me about some years ago. It's about 7, 8 years ago, and he asked me about something that I said, and he asked me was I all right. I said, yeah, I was all right. I'm all right. And then once I explained it to him, he said, "Oh, you doing it for the people." I said, "Yeah." Um, I'm trying to instill in you that while you are fighting the fight, like any fight, if you fighting a good opponent, because that's what life is. Life is an opponent. Sin is an adversary. It's not your friend. It's an opponent. Sometimes you're gonna get hit hard. Like we like remember we all played sports. We was ignorant. I was very competitive. Sometimes I got hit hard. And sometimes I hit hard. I broke arms. I was competitive. But when it was time and I got hit hard, it did hurt. I got back up. And I've never quit. I got bandaged and I still played. So while you're in this truth and you're trying to get to the next phase, you're trying to get to the next phase, you're trying to perfect, you're trying to get through some of the things that you're trying to get through on any level, whether you're married or you're single. You got to stay connected to the Messiah. I know, you know, you gotta stay in this truth. You got to stay connected to the fellowship because the fellowship is meant for you to get something out of it. Accept the meat, spit out the bones. What is the bones? What if something is said to you wrong? Don't be discouraged and now you walk away because now you're going to return back. You're going to Satan waiting for you to turn back. He's waiting for you to take it personal. He's waiting for you to grudge. He's waiting for you to render. He's waiting for you to retaliate. Instead of you praying about it and using the scriptures to say something to the person about it. you turn to, you don't think it's Satan. You say, I'm gonna turn to myself. Well, what does scripture say? Whoso trusted in his own heart is what? That's what you become. You become foolish then. Because you trusted in yourself to sustain yourself. You become wise in your own eyes. And Satan ain't playing chess, checkers. He's playing life. So we have to abide in the long haul, for the long haul. And you got to learn how to do that. And so one thing that resonated with me that I want to bring and put on the table is from the last lesson. And I'll give it to us and ask the question. It's in Galatians chapter 6. So let's go there and help me, help us, help you. What about Galatians 6 can help us survive? Who remembers? Ja? You don't remember? Okay. Called you was absent. You're supposed to have been there. Okay, go ahead, Boaz.
Verse 4, let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing within himself alone and not in another.
Right. So what about that? Hit the nail on the head. You that's right. What part in there is supposed to help us?
Prove our own works, so that way we can rejoice in ourselves.
Okay. That's right. I was trying to get you to narrow it down, but that's it. It's the rejoicing part. If you can't find happiness in the truth, like I would ask you, I'm gonna ask us, without a show of hands, how many of us are not happy in this truth? How many of us, without a show of hands, you're not happy, man? You know, you're being made, you're being forced to keep the laws, forced to keep the commandments, forced to come to the school, forced to come to the Sabbath, forced to participate, forced to give alms, forced to help out, forced to clean. We make the mess. You was here, you enjoyed it. Forced. So when you're forced, you don't like somebody, somebody say something, I got to say something to you. You don't like that. Now, okay, so I can easily say, you shouldn't feel like that. If I do say that, or if you do get ridiculed, look at definition up. I know what it is, but I want some more words. How do you spell it? I got that part. I see. Yeah. Language, actions, or behavior tended to mock, humiliate, or belittle. That's not my intention. I was going to say about coming to the school, coming to class. Ridicule involves language, actions, or behavior intended to mock, humiliate, or belittle. So I'm going to change that. Not ridicule. Aspects, wait a minute, here's some aspects of ridicule. Let's say about class. You get made. Somebody says something to you. It is often malicious and aims to make the target an object of laughter or scorn. That's the intent of ridicule. It's not my intent to make you a target of laughter or scorn. It is to point out that I notice your absence and I feel that you should participate a little bit more, a lot more. Why? There's work to do. Mechanisms, they frequently utilize mimicry, sarcasm, parody, or sham difference. Okay, so change that word. That doesn't represent any of my intentions. Um, but it is to point out that, and so maybe somebody can use a word that's a little bit like more tasteful. If it was any of these things, I'd be like, yeah, that's it. I apologize. You know, oftentimes I'll say something to a person about attendance. Okay. Seeking the well, seeking your well-being. Like, what's up? Where you been? Where you at? What you doing? You know, Christ himself said the harvest is great, but the labors are few. You know, so this education, if you played football and you was a quarterback and you rarely showed up, wouldn't the team ask you where you at, what you doing, where you been? Or if you was a receiver, one that caught, you got some other guys that can catch. A tight end ain't no wideout when you done, right? This he's the deep guy, and he seldom shows up, this and that. Well, ain't you gonna ask him? Ain't you gonna ask him what's going on with him? You know, anybody that knows sports, isn't that receiver? Isn't he important to that team? Without him, what's gonna happen? Well, you might not lose. It's gonna be hard to score quick. It's a deep threat. It's gonna be hard. You might need to come back quick. This guy runs fast. He go all the way down there. You throw the ball, he catches it. You know, it's like the Bulls without Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. So that's my intention. Like, okay, what's up? We've got to adapt now. Take this education at the Most High, the time, the labor. It's a lot of work putting in, brothers, man. You don't understand, guys. A lot of you don't understand that. A lot of you do. You just have clueless. The amount of years that I've put through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that's God the Most High Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Years, months, days, minutes, hours, phone calls, personal. And you sit at home, watch TV. Instead of getting in the highways and the byways to make another you or me, another Christ-like person. Yeah, I'm gonna say something. And I don't mean I don't mean the attributes of to humiliate you, to mock you, or belittle you. I'm just like, what, do you not understand your importance? Do you not understand what you signed up for? That this is not like a 4-year course. So when Christ said, as a branch cannot bear fruit of itself, no more can you except you abide in me. What do you think he's talking about? He's talking about the thing that got you to the point to where you at. Many people think that they stand. Scripture say, take heed. Oftentimes when we do sever ourselves from the fellowship in some degrees, and that degree angle gets wider and wider, you know what happens? You begin to struggle. And the scriptures say, from whence come wars and fightings among you? Do they not come even from your lust? So when you sever, when you separate yourself, then you begin to go into the lust of the flesh. So when we read the book of Sirach, chapter 38, it goes into how we got busy. You think it's legit. Oh, yes, I got this going on and I got that going on. The Most High knows about all of that. But when it comes to the assembly, he said, you ain't playing no part in it. You might feel like you're fine with that. But what about the ones that help you get to where you at? How do they feel about that? They feel let down, disappointed. Like, whoa, what's up? Where's the help at? Because you're supposed to help. You're supposed to influence and help and be an example for the rest of the young brothers. You're supposed to now become teachers of those things that was taught to you. Everybody come through the doors getting taught what's happening into the ones. That's a lot. Where's your help? Oh, that's a good episode of Martin on. What is this? Brother home watching Martin. The class is going. So we want to abide in the Most High, man. All right. Romans 1. Romans 1 and 8, it says, first, I thank my God through Christ for you all. That your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. So Paul put in the type of work. So now, with everything that was just said, keep in mind, this is going to go with that. For God is my witness whom I serve. So Paul, he grew, man. He transformed. he didn't, even in sin, knowing the scriptures, he got better. He improved. He was brought up in some of the strict ways. He was going off. He didn't know it. The Most High sent the Messiah to him. He got himself straight, and he continued to wax stronger and stronger and growing and growing. That's how we to be. For God is my witness whom I serve. So he saw serving the Father with my spirit in the gospel of his Son. So he believed in the Most High, and he believed in the Christ. That without ceasing, I make mention of you always in my prayers. He was praying for people. He was praying for those who he had to deal with. Making request, if by any means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of God to come unto you. So he wanted to deal with Israel, making requests, asking the Most High through prayer. He was zealous in doing the work. For I long to see you. Look at that. I long to see you. I don't ignore the fact that you exist. I long to see you. That I might impart unto you some spiritual gift. So what was handed to him, he was ready to hand it to others. So if I'm seeing a brother, what's up? Where you at? What you doing? How do I ask about you? Do I not? Seeing that, if the Spirit is on me to bring you up in the faith, yeah, I would make an inquiry. What's up? What's going on? How you doing? You say this is what you should be doing. To the end, you may be what?
Established.
To the end, you might be established. That is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me. Okay, we'll put our 5 o'clock. All right, we'll take a moment. All right, if you need more time, go ahead. Verse 13. Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I proposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. One point that should stick out, I am debtor. we should feel indebted. This is a this is how I see it. I feel indebted. You should feel indebted. Indebted to what? Teach the gospel, to help out, to improve, so that your light can shine, to be sanctified. Sanctified means separated, purified, separated for your people, so that you can truly, so the Spirit can truly be with you and you can help your people. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. So, as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are in Rome also. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. Remember, those Greeks are Israelites that was out amongst the Greeks that called themselves Greeks, that did not to let go of calling themselves Greeks, because it comes with what people would feel perk, some type of perk. What advantage or perk was it to be called a Greek? Use the scripture. Make it big boy hard. What kind of perk was it? Find something in the scriptures. Anything. I don't have a set answer. I could find something, but I'm asking you. We're gonna lose a platform and split 50 ways.
Is it when Paul
Give me an
used it because he was about to basically get beat, and he was using
So listen to the question. It's a different question. The answer you're giving me is something else. The question is, they did not want to be called, they were called Greeks. So let me take it back what they didn't want to. That could be a speculation. They were called Greeks. Many people, just like today, you got Israelites that don't want to be called Hebrews or Israelites. They would rather be called African American. Why do they want to continue to be called Greeks? What is the perk? Perk is the advantage of being called a Greek. Use the scriptures. The Greeks are Edomites. What's up with Esau? Come on. It's not a trick question. It's not hard. Second Maccabees 6. So you can use this as an example, and you may be able to find something else. Second Maccabees 6 and verse 1. Now long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens. Athens is Greece, in Greece, to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. Athens is the capital and largest city of Greece. These are the people during the time of Paul that he was writing this to. So there was an old man of Athens was sent from the king to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So he was telling them not to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, but to follow the Greek customs and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and call it the temple of Juniper Olympius, and that in Gazarim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. So if you come and you serve, you will be defended. Even though you're strange to the philosophy, to the idolatry, you'll be defended. If you're refugees, if you're a refugee from Yahweh God, from Jerusalem, and you seeking refuge, they'll welcome you. That's what they're saying. As they did desire that dwelt in that place, as they did desire. So did they want to be called by the Greeks or did they want to be called Israel? By the Greeks that dwelt in that place. The coming in of this mischief foolishness was sore and grievous to the people. For the temple was filled with riot and revelings by the Gentiles. So if you become free from the Most High, with them, you could be a Greek, you could be rioting, you could do whatever you want to do. You could talk how you want to talk. Riot is loud. You don't have some people like, there might be people out on the street playing loud music and make cause confusion and this, that. They're like, no. You're not supposed to behave like that. That's unruly. You could go in the gated community. You can't have that type of disposition about yourself. This is a disposition. They'd rather be like this. Our people today would rather be called a thug than to act right. A YN than to act right. What else? Give me something else. I'm trying to stimulate you to think. Open your mouths. Young people would rather today in their behavior rather be called what? They don't have an issue or problem going by these proverbs, bywords. They don't care. A gangbanger, okay, that's good. Anything else? You're younger than me. You should know.
Mainly YN is that's a new term for it.
What's that? Remember Tupac? He was saying, "I think you need some thug in your life or something, baby." What is this? They was glamorize that stuff. He said, "I don't want to be your man. I want to be your nigga. I think you need a thug in your life, brother. All that." The party and all that. Remember the place that we call hell? That's riot, man. Ain't that riot? That's riot. What else in here? It says, and who dallied with harlots. That's Greek right there. They brought in harlotry. There should be no whores of the daughters of Israel. We didn't bring it in. We got laws. And had to do with women within the circuit of holy places. Inside of the temple, they were screwing. Yeah. So no, they don't want to be an Israelite. They don't want to be called Israel because they, being a Greek, you can do whatever you want to do. Say, you ever seen the Mardi Gras? What they do for the beads? Look about, he gets his green, like, what they do? You don't know? Okay, don't tell him either. You'll keep him pure. You need some milk. You give him some milk. Don't tell him, Yash. He good. He like, tell me what they do. And they just wild, brother. All right. Anybody else got anything? Okay, Yash.
I want to add some. John 11. It's kind of a flip side to it. It goes. John 11.
Is it staying with the point?
Yeah, of course. John 11 and starting at verse 45. And what we about to read is also it coincides with the world of religion today, because they live and walk in the same faction. So John 11 and verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him. But some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. So the ones that went away to the Pharisees, those are the ones that didn't agree with Yahushua, but they agreed with who? The Pharisees. And they also knew that the Pharisees didn't agree with Yahushua, right? So verse 47, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees, spirit and truth, Yahushua, the things that he's doing, they started to believe on the Gospels and the Most High, right? Through Yahushua. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans, so this is the point, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So what Shan was bringing out was dealing with all the riotous and wicked and demonic and all the evil things that our people gravitate to, because why? As being an African American. So a Greek or a Roman, they cool with that. Change. Well, in this sense, being called a Greek or a Roman, the scribes and Pharisees is like, yo, we got to do something about this guy, because not only is he's turning the minds of the people, and if he turns the minds of the people, going on, there's a friction in the hierarchy dealing with who? The Romans and the Greeks, because the Romans and the Greeks put them in place. Meaning they let them set up devil doctrines, lie to the people, live in partiality, like when they brought the woman caught in adultery, in the very act. Where was the man in? The man probably was their partner. He was caught in the same act. They was trying to kill her, stone her, convict her, but they partner, they left him alone. These are just some of the actions that the Pharisees stood by, and they didn't believe in Yahushua. So they like, if Yahushua continues to do the things he's doing in the name of the Most High as being our true King, Lord, and Savior, an Israelite man who stood for that, guess what? Now, as like us agreeing with the Greeks, agreeing with the lifestyle that the Romans allow us to walk in, you know, the power that they granted us, they gonna turn their backs on us. So now even coinciding with today, you got the Wicked Baptist Church, Pentecostals, Muslims, all different sects of religion. They all got an agenda. You know what I'm saying? That's not based on being Israel. It's all based on like the position that they hold in this world, to where they gain money, grants, they gain hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars by extorting the people, teaching lies to the people, like accepting the YNs, the harlots, the drug dealers, the murderers. They don't teach them to change. They just, like, for example, and I mean, at the brother's nephew's funeral, prime example. A prime example of carrying that name African American. being down with the Greeks, being
Yeah,
down
yeah.
with them.
So what I'm looking for the book, chapter, and verse, and the description of the sin, we don't want to let go as people.
Okay, well, I was just bringing out the point on the false religion. You know what I'm saying? The power that.
Well, you can show it in book, chapter, and verse. Find it. If you found something, say.
Second Maccabees 4 and 14.
4 and 14.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna finish this 6, and then next we'll get to 4. And anybody else is welcome to find it in the book, what you want to point out. The reason why it's so important to see it in the book is because it helps us to understand the Jew and the Greek. Why did they like being a Greek? What was the advantage? Inside of as has been an Israelite, there are restrictions. This is the wrestle that we have. People, this is the wrestle that you're gonna have. It's still the same wrestle that they have. It's gonna help you understand what people are going through when they have to repent. Do we understand the reason why we're going through it?
I'm kind of like caught in the middle because
Okay.
when I listened to your first explanation, it sounded like you was explaining the spin on how you would use Greek to basically get the attention of your people and fishermen. But then after Yash explained, you're like, okay, you use Greek because Israel don't want to accept it, they already want to accept it.
I never said that use Greek to reel somebody in. I've always said that he was speaking to Greeks, to the Israelites that was among Greeks. And then I stated that I took us to Maccabees 6 that shows us that there was an old man from Athens that was sent by the king to compel the people. And then I showed you where Athens is. It's the capital of Greece. And the people go up under they are the Greeks. So then I was shown, well, why are people addicted to being Greeks? So then I said, find in the scriptures, what are the perks of being a Greek? So it was never a thing like.
So
That's kind of confusing too, because you said why before you went to Maccabees, you said why do the people want to be Greeks?
Right.
So
that's the same thing.
Right. So
okay.
You brought out the scripture using an example of why they want to be Greeks because they sent an old man.
The Greeks let them sin.
Exactly.
The Greeks would be kicking it.
Okay.
What people feel. What are the perks of being from, when you think from a carnal aspect, what are they dealing with?
And this is not about my answer, but I guess the example that I was given is like even using the scribes and Pharisees is because the Greeks let them hold power and deal how they was dealing amongst Israel. And the scriptures kind of said like their mindset on what they thought behind Yahushua,
The scribes and Pharisees weren't called Greeks, they were called the circumcision. So we was talking about the people that was in the Greek customs.
So I misunderstood what you was asking. The perks of being called Greek.
Mm-hmm.
My mind spent on the perk of being called a Greek, and I use that Paul. Like, okay, you can use that to more or less because he's or whatever, and he spoke up and was like, "You can't do this, I'm wrong." And then they let him go, and he continued preaching.
Okay. So the aspect that we're looking for the ones that love being called Greek, and they are in sin. And what's their struggle? Why are they liking it so much? It's definitely a wow, of the devil. So I think that we're bringing in a lot of different scenarios instead of just dealing with the aspect of the original question. But so Yashala, I understand your example and what you were trying to say. The thing is you brought in people that weren't calling themselves Greeks, but they were taking advantage of the Greek authority, giving them authority.
Right.
Okay, so I get that, but that wasn't the thing that we were looking for. Were the people that was up under the banner, and they were called Greeks. And while the struggle that they may have, why do they like being called Greeks? Because those are the ones that they are Israelites, and we got to deal with them. So what are we facing? And so you have to go into the scriptures and let the scriptures show you, well, what did the Greeks give to them that made them love being called Greeks, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So it's the sin aspect of it that, and then now instead of it being them being called Greeks, they're being called African Americans, they're being called Colombians, we're being called by every byword that's known that we know of. But we have to repent, because in Isaiah 45, the Most High surnamed us Jacob, and he called us by the name of Israel. So he didn't call us all the other labels and titles that we have put upon ourselves. Now, when we acknowledge those things, then we to come back, and coming back unto the Most High, the Israelites, that's going to cause us to come into the strap way. No more wide and broad. No more Greek custom and philosophy. It ain't just religion, because you got a lot of people, they denounce religion. They say, I ain't religious, but then they take upon his sin. You understand? They take upon his customs, the use of drugs, over consumption and alcohol, dallying with harlots, partying, but they won't go to his church. But they'll throw a big festivity to where you could just freak out. All right. Okay, so go ahead, Bun.
I was gonna ask, did you get that precept yet about when people call themselves Antiochians?
No, I'm still in Second Maccabees 6, and then Bo wanted to go to chapter 4. But before we go to the 4th chapter, that was a little more in 6, and I'll be done here, and then you guys can have it. But what we're looking for is not anything. We're looking, or everything. We're looking for particular sins where Israel was doing these sins under the title and nationality of being called a Greek. So you got to be very specific. Let's not try and force fit. Let's hit the nail, because there are a few of them in here. All right. So 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and the latter part of 4, it says, besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. So inside of the temple, they began to bring things that are not lawful. What are some of the things that are not lawful? They already brought the white girl. That's that right there. You know what I'm saying? That's that right there. So then what else could you do? Okay, you can bring some swine flesh. What else? Cross-dressing. Okay, you can bring it up. What else? Images, right? That's wrote in the scriptures. Idols, right? Okay. That's when you was going into it, bro, you don't have to make anything. You just got to do the work and find it. Then it says the altar also was filled with profane things. That was the sacrifices, the swine and stuff. That's making mockery of the animal sacrifice. Okay? Which the law says no. No, you're not supposed to offer this. Actually, as a matter of fact, only who was supposed to sacrifice? Only the priest. Or it would be considered strange, and the penalty was death. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days. So you can say that under the Greeks, if you're gonna call yourself a Greek, you ain't gonna keep the Sabbath day. Today, people call themselves a Christian, they're not gonna keep the Sabbath day. They're gonna hold on. I'm a Christian. Okay, well, what about the Sabbath? From even to even, no buying, selling, cooking, cleaning, laborers work, no this, no that. No doing your own thing. Oh, they don't do that. See, being a Greek has evolved. It evolved to a lot of different branches of bywords and proverbs, nationalities and religions. It has evolved. But when you see the fruit of it, then you're supposed to be like, that's a Greek custom. It stems from the Greeks. It grows from the Greeks. Or what? Fast or ancient fast? Or to profess himself at all to be called what? A Jew. Another name for that is Israelite. So they struggle. They struggle with calling themselves an Israelite. They say, oh no, we the more. Oh no, I'm Muslim. They use the scriptures, they acknowledge the scriptures, but they will not profess to be called the Jew. Why, brother? This is how you explain it. You are being a Greek, man. Because it's a perk, it's an advantage of being a Muslim. You have to go into it. A lot of Muslims, it's a lot of them that's really smart. It's a lot of them that's really smart. They got some historians up in there for you. But you know what? Under that branch of philosophy, it's some death. It's some contact killers, drug dealers, medieval, much wickedness. And all of them, all Muslims ain't like that. Well, that ain't a true Muslim, this and this and that. All right. So, second, any questions before we continue? And remember, you're going to raise your hand and you're going to say, hey, I got this. Okay, well, I'm going to look for the book, chapter, and verse, and the sin. Okay, Bo, you got it?
Yes, sir. Second Maccabees. I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, now such was the height of Greek fashion and an increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jacob, no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifice, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowances in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all, by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and opposers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of God. Sorry, that's it. But pretty much our people in today's time, like being a Greek perk, come with vainglory, in sports entertainment, stuff like that. Our people hold on to that as well too. So when trying to tell our people that sports is a Greek thing and it's wrong, a lot of our people have an issue with that as well because, for an example, I told somebody about sports being unlawful too. Like I explained it to them like football. It's unlawful because most of the time it's a high percentage of us playing in the sports, and most of the time we play under hate. You know, the going against each other. That's a part of the. That's part of the perk because now our people are striving so earnestly to get to the big leagues, so they get the money, to get the fame, the false, the vain glory, and all the things that come with it, like the white girl, which is unlawful too. So that's one.
I got the white girl around the corner.
People strive so earnestly when it comes to football, basketball, baseball, to sustain and maintain, or try to just get it and all with the place sex, which is the Greek fashion itself, which is.
Okay, so that's correct. That's correct. I want to add to that in addition. So the perk. So what his example was sports. All right, sports. With the sports, what is the perk of the sport? Somebody. What is the perk of sport? Who's played sports? Big time. When I say big time, man, you ain't had to be pro, but you just had to be in it. You know, it's a difference between somebody that they practice and they got kind of cracked up and then they didn't come back out right. They what they call the electricity. You got hit with the electricity. Put that E on, that's going to show you. Or you got to make it through there. You got to go through the practices and the games and the wins and you know what I'm saying? So some of you guys who've been through that, okay. So with any sport, what's the perk? The perks will help you to see why it's so hard for them to let go. I don't want to be no Israelite then.
Pride.
You giving me words? Give me what I'm asking for. What is the perk? Man, if he tell me y'all fired. No. If Trevon tell me y'all fired, Trevon, go ahead.
To be talked about, to be liked by the people over the sports, to be able to be great, in this world.
Okay, yeah, y'all fired, man. All of that. Now go ahead and add to it. If we play, trust me, I mean, I can start talking. I played it. Boy, did I play it. So, if you played in it, then you should know. Like, then you walk up to somebody on the street. Well, if you had to walk up to me on the street, I got a game Saturday. I'm pumped. I'm man. Do you need a description? 210 pounds. I'm benching 495. I'm squatting over 5. We got the whole wrecking crew. Man, we sent up baseball numbers. Hundreds of points in one game. It was like, come on, man. Do you know what type of witchcraft that is? I didn't know it was witchcraft. But the excitement, the crowd, the fans, packed stadiums. Yeah, man. Now face in the paper, name over the intercom for another touchdown.
That's why I said like vainglory, because you get that. You get newspaper articles, you get scholarship articles.
Right. Newspaper articles, scholarship. So that's what I'm saying. Name those things. Go ahead. Name the things.
Now they getting deals before they even hit college.
NIL.
NIL, what's that?
They get a sponsorship, pretty much a contract, like $1 million contract.
You get paid in college now.
Yeah, wait. Do y'all know why that's happening? I've been saw it. Do you know why it's happening? Because people was leaving college early for the draft, and the colleges was then beginning to lose and star players that was bringing attention to the school, and also bringing and then losing sponsorship. Big time sale, man.
Yeah, it's just like
Shit, that hold up. That's bigger than Macy's. You think I'm lying? That's bigger than Macy's. College clothes?
Yeah.
Come on. Man, they selling everything. Pencils, pads, shirts, hats, socks, this and that, all the time. All the time. And they got a big old price tag on it too. And you that organization. Your own religion. Your own belief. You better get on out of here, but I got a game on Saturday. We gonna be on TV. The scouts gonna be there and everything. That's hard, man. Greeks offer them all of that. They give them a place to stay. Now they're giving them sponsorship. They on TV. They got the girls. They got friends. Get cars. You asking them to be broke. Come down in the hood where you talking about the spirit is and it's all good. Like, man, I hear y'all believe in Jesus, man, but I think Jesus want me to sign this contract and wear this hat. That's really, really tough. But the decision for them to change ain't yours. All you got to do is speak. Like it says in Isaiah 30, they going to hear a word behind them saying what? Walk ye in it. Now, before we move on, everybody, you still get your chance, your opportunity. You ain't put your train of thought, producer. I got to bring this out. What is something that will help them change their, because although they got all the perks lined up, you might feel discouraged, like, man, then you ain't gonna lead this. You ain't the judge of that. Speak the word. In those situations that we was talking about of sports and for second match, what is going to be a defining moment to where their eyes can open up?
Describing about the soul calamity.
There you go. Jump down to verse 16. Verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. God said, okay, you want to be the star? By reason whereof sore calamity fell upon them. That's going to bring them to reality. And then you know what? That crowd ain't going to be there while you in pain. See, you ain't going to even get a chance to get back, to make it back into the stadium, running up and down, prancing and dancing with the ball in one hand, showboat. See that? You didn't know how to do that, did you? You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get a chance to do that no more. On the basketball court, swish. Them knees hurt. That hand or something. The Most High, God knows how to bring sore calamities. The Lord will plague you. He plagued me. Oh man, He plagued me. I put so much into it, boy. I'm telling you, I was really trying to go pro. I had trials, lined up with the Rams and everything and everybody. Most I say, nope. Day of tryout, I pulled a hamstring. Working out by myself. Agent called, say, you ready? I said, man, I pulled my hamstring. He said, what? I said, I pulled my hamstring. Georgia Frontier, owner of the Rams, was waiting to see me. She owed him a favor. This guy, Big John, went to Mizzou, say right down the street from me. I used to go down there when I was a kid. And he was in high school and he went, where did he go to play college at? I think he went to Nebraska, came home with a big old BMW 750, 7 Series. You sit out there and talk to him. Then he went somewhere to play, maybe with the Raiders first, and then ended up in St. Louis. By that time, I was in minor league. I said, man, I beat this and this. He said, yeah. I gave him a highlight tape. He said, man, he thought I could have been his ticket, to do get something. I said, man, he said, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna use this one favor I got. He went to the owner that he know. She was gonna give me a shot. I was in U City in Heman Park, working out by myself. I used to do a lot of stuff, run long distance running by myself. I used to do some mad training. And I pulled a hamstring. He called, I wasn't ready. The Lord used to jack me up so bad, man. Trying to get me to stop. I didn't know, I didn't see it. Twist my ankles. I would wrap them up, look like I would have cast on. I'm going back in there. But from my position, I had the most scoring yards, most touchdowns. I tell you, I used to break people's arms. You stretch that arm out trying to stop me, it's getting bent back. I was so strong, brother. The whole crowd used to be like Batman came through. People flying back. I just loved it. I was a fanatic. You know what I'm saying? That's all I did. So I said, no, you ain't gonna do that though. And each time, I just talked to Carlise about that this morning. Remember? Every time I would hurt, ice. It's like ice is the answer. I would spend the whole weekend ice and I wouldn't do nothing. Ice them ankles all weekend. By Saturday, it better be down. Saturday it was down. I'm back out there. So while we be thinking that it's impossible to change somebody's mind, you ain't got the calamity gonna change their mind. What'd you say?
The calamity, the judgment of it is like that's the depression. Dying to hear all the fans screaming your name and roaring, the stage rumbling, and then you go down, you go into a deep depression because you can't be out there and be a part of that.
Yeah. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly, unto whom they desired to be like in all things. That's why they don't want to let that stuff go. They actually want to be like them. So now they don't want to be called an Israelite. And that's what you face with. But you respectfully, bring out the scriptures, preach the word of the Most High, and then walk away. And if they don't hear the voice of the Most High in you, the Most High going to bring something to stop them. And they'll hear. And then the last thing that you want them to do, or you want them to think, your last interaction with them, you don't want to be where you were sick and tired, you got fed up, you said it this way, you said it that way, you railed on them. No, you're going to be right. And they're going to know that, okay, you was right. They're going to come back on their own and be like, hey, what's up? I'm ready to learn. Yeah, somebody else watered the seed that you planted. The Most High gave the increase. Yeah, well, tell me, what was this Israelite stuff you were saying? All right, brother, this is what it is. Let's do this. And now they're going to be trying to now follow you, like what we read in the book of Romans, the first chapter. All right. Anybody else? That's my guy. What's up?
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41.
All right, First Maccabees 1 and 41. Let's see.
Okay, so First Maccabees chapter 1 and 41.
It's a good precept. Where are you going with it? I'm gonna see if you get it.
King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yet also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So this precept right here is an example of how our people want the freedom of not being a Jew and take on the lifestyle of Greek. Like want to profane the Sabbath, they want to pop out and go see what the Greeks was up to
Okay,
on the Sabbath.
right. So, let's see. The sacrifice to the idol type of thing right there. Like what you said, they was free. Can we find an example in the scriptures where they was sacrificing? Well, I think I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it's very interesting because this is explaining what, Yeshua?
Shoot. People that want to be, I was gonna say people that want to be, children of God.
Is explaining people that want to be children of God?
No, they did.
They didn't. Okay, right. They did not want to be with the Most High. Okay. Okay, Trevon, go ahead.
Second Maccabees 2:23. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was a Molin, according to the king's commandment.
and I was thinking, dang, Bill and the Dragon. I'm sorry, Trevon. Let me give you my undivided attention. Go ahead. Say it again.
First Maccabees 2:23. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was in Molin, according to the king's commandment.
Right. Okay. So they was sacrificing. Okay. That's it, Trevon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bill and the Dragon. And then we're going to get back on course, guys. Bill and the Dragon, verse 3. Now the Babylons had an idol. So this is the idol of the land. And instead of it being the Greeks, this is the kingdom of the Persians. So this changes a little, but it's just showing you how Israel was sacrificing unto idols. It says, now the Babylonians had an idol called Baal, and there was spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. And the king said unto him, why doest not thou worship Baal? So if he expected Daniel, who was an Israelite, to worship Baal, that was showing you that there was some Israelites that was doing what? Worshiping Baal. and sacrificing unto Baal. So when we was reading First Maccabees 1 and 41, that's just an example. Or 1 and 43 it was where where Israel was sacrificing unto idols. So guys, let's lose all of these things and let's get back to where we was in Romans chapter 1. Pertaining to our new man. Romans chapter 1 and 14, I am indebted both to the Greeks and to the barbarians. Now that we see why he's indebted to Israel. Why? Ja? Yeah, my objective is to catch you off guard. I want the person that's not on guard. Why is he a debtor? Trevon? You sure?
Because people can live how they want to live.
Because what?
People can live how they want to live. The law put that away.
No, that's not why he's indebted. Yash?
He indebted to,
Why is he indebted?
I said he indebted to set the example to both.
Why is he indebted? Excuse me for interrupting you.
Why is he indebted?
Why is he indebted?
To the people, right? That we talking
Why? I'm not asking to. I'm asking why is he indebted?
about. For example purposes. Basically.
For example,
Yeah.
okay, well, somebody else. Not exactly. Another?
He kind of was like much just like him, or is following after the Gentiles, or not following.
Because they're in trouble. They way off. Look at all the sins that we've been bringing out. So we know that he is, but why do he feel that there's a necessity that's indebted? He's like, man, I owe it to those people to do that. He's doing it for the Most High, but why is he doing it when he's thinking about the Greeks and the barbarians? You know, all those sins and all that. So I think it could mentally and spiritually be overwhelming if you're like, I'm going to try and save each and every last one of them. No, Christ is the Savior. And being delivered from sin and saving somebody is the Most High's part. Our part is to just be a minister, a teacher, a preacher, pastor, a shepherd. We just got a part to do, and you should be indebted to that part because of the situation. There's a lot of things that is broad and wide and admissible, but we gotta get in the ballpark even to be like, okay, that's a base hit. You know what I'm saying? If you outside of the triangle, if it's baseball, you outside of the triangle. But if you on the player field, then you're on the player field. So the question was specifically, why is he indebted? And our mind state need to be that he's indebted because of the condition. That's why we went through all those sins. I mean, is that clear? Are we clear? It's a lot. And not only was it then, the times of Maccabees was before him, and then during his time, and then now in our time. Right now in our time, the exact same things, and it's just as worse. Do we need a moment?
I mean, I just thought because he can relate to them, because by him being a Roman, he was an Jewish man, he can relate to those Gentiles that's like that. And by him persecuting the Church of Christ too, he indebted that as well, by watching, Stephen get killed like that, he can relate to that. I know I kind of mixed a lot in there, but I guess I just gotta agree with what Bernard was saying too.
Okay.
And I was also gonna add, it was the least he could do because he was taught ministry and he wanted to show others.
Okay. We can relate. I can relate to a whole lot of stuff. That's just like saying, yeah, I understand. But there can be an understanding that, well, okay, I'll leave it at that. I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise, and much as in me is, I'm ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith. It is written, the just shall live by faith. So the point of coming is I wanted to get to verse 17 about the righteousness of the Most High pertaining to the newness of us is going to be revealed from the Most High. The faith that we have is supposed to help us through a situation, a circumstance, a struggle, a life of failure, a life of trying, then getting it right. What's up, what's this, TikTok? I'll share this video. Hey, Shay, Valen, we got Grandma Sarah on her. How you doing, Grandma Sarah? All right, glad to see you in this study. Yes, ma'am. Smash that share button. So, being here and go to 1 John. First John 5. And then verse 4, it says, for whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. I don't think anybody in here has overcome everything at one time in their life. It doesn't work like that. Your faith in the Most High and in the scriptures and the example of Christ and the Spirit of the Most High throughout the fellowship teaches us, and it leads to us having victory. That's one circumstance. Then we do it again. That's another circumstance. Then we do it again. That's a third. The objective is to continue to do it over and over and over, experiencing victory. And it takes faith to do it. Verse 5, who is he that overcometh the world? Hold this and go to the book of James. not James. It's Galatians 5. That's what I want. Galatians 5 and 19. So Galatians 5, 19, and can you hold all these and then get 1 John 2. 1 John 2, 16. So we'll get this, then Galatians, and then that'll kind of help us add to 1 John 5 and 4 or 5. So the first one is 1 John chapter 2 and 16. We get one part of this. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh. So it's putting two words together. It's telling you about the world, and it's talking about the lust of the flesh. Flesh and world, flesh and world. All that is in the world is telling you what the world is about, the lust of the flesh. So if you leave it like that, that still won't tell a person like, okay, well, what do you mean? Lust, flesh. Now we're going to go to Galatians 5 and 19. And it's going to give us what our flesh is. The works of the flesh. So it's the works of the lust in the flesh. It says are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murderous, drunkenness, and revelings, of such like, of the which I tell you before, and I was also told you in time past, that they which commit such things should not inherit the kingdom of God. So now let's go back to 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. First John chapter 5 and 4. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. So the things that we overcome is in Galatians 5. Be attentive. And this is the victory that overcometh the world. So this is the victory that helps us to overcome. Then it says, even our what? Faith. So now go back to Romans chapter 1. Romans 1:17. So in 17, Paul is talking about the ministry that is preached unto Israel. The righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith. So it has to be from faith to faith and not just one faith, because of the evolution of a person's life. Nobody here, what I've explained, can change in one day. It ain't just one thing, it's a multiple things. It's a multitude of things that is going to take us having faith in the righteousness of the Most High being preached to. And then we have to grow. Then the Most High gonna preach again to us. And we're gonna go through all manner of things. And we're gonna get stronger. And then we're gonna develop more faith. This literally can continue and say faith to faith to faith to faith to faith. You have to continue in that. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. When you stop having faith, this is the highest form of worship in the Most High. You got to have faith. Yes, faith without works is dead, but we're not talking about faith without works. We're talking about works because we have faith. Work because you have faith will help you be victorious when you're facing the thing that God is showing you about yourself. Because you have faith in the Most High will give you the spirit to excel. This is what makes you the elect, because you are considering, you're taking these things in consideration, in perspective. You're taking these things. You're not just casting this behind you and ignoring it. That's what makes you different. You're sitting down and you're listening to the words of the Most High. You're reading them and you're self-examining, and then you're ready to take them forward into your prospective circumstance and do differently. That sets you apart. That's what makes you different from other people. It's called wise. Go to the book of Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48. It says, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Be ye therefore perfect. Perfection is something that comes from faith to faith. Book of Zechariah, chapter 13. Sorry, guys. I don't want that. I want Isaiah 13. Isaiah chapter 13. I'm going to read verse 1 and then jump. The burden of Babylon. So this is not ancient Babylon. This is referring to the daughter of the children, the descendants of the ancient Babylonians. The burden of Babylon. Verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. Sanctified, remember how it was said, this is what makes you different, because you consider. The Most High wants you considering. Hold this and go to Proverbs. Proverbs 1 and whole Isaiah. We're going to jump right back to it. Proverbs 1 and verse 24. I'll start at 20. I'm going to skip around. I just need here a little and there a little. Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttered her voice. Verse 21, she cried in the chief place. Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Verse 23, behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you. I will make known my words unto you. Verse 24, I have called, I have stretched out my hand. So the Most High is doing all of that. Go back to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 13 and 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. So in the midst of the calling, like it said in Proverbs 1, some people listen and some people don't. Some people listen and some people don't. You happen to be the ones that are listening. You must show that you are listening by from faith to 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 when it gets harder to faith to faith. When it gets harder, it can get to where you can't. It feel like you can't survive. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones. For mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Jump over to verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh. both cruel both with wrath and anger to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners out of it. The stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. That means to stop. You guys, we are escaping that by listening. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. You know what it is for somebody to be terrible? This person just ain't gonna stop. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. That's you. Because you're perfecting what the Most High is teaching you. This ain't happening in no day, though. No. This is exhortation. This is not discouragement. It's not a pass to continue. The thing that has been done, let it suffice. Let it be enough. That's it. Let us move forward. Let us move on. Let us grow. The Most High is refining. He will make you more precious than gold. He will make you valuable. You're the prize. You're it. You are different. You're not like other men or women. You're not like other women. These things you must know. It says, even a man more than the golden wigs of Ophir. So we don't know what the golden wigs of Ophir is, but we do know what a brick of gold is, pure gold. It's probably worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's enough to change a person's life. Whenever we see those bricks of gold, we be like, oh, you don't see them in person. You only see them on television. The person that got it, boy, they so good. You see them, they on some beach sipping some red and blue juice with a hint of shot of something in it, but all that gold sitting somewhere. They ain't got nothing to worry about. God said you're more valuable than that because of what he put into you. And that's what you got to understand. That's where this road leads to. As you purify yourself, that's what it leads to. But you got to have faith that you're going to be able to overcome the next thing like you did the last thing. Questions? Pat, jump to the first chapter, Isaiah 1. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, and verse 16. Wash you, make you clean. Wash you, comma, make you clean. Wash you, make you clean. What is this saying? We know what it's saying, but if you were to take this upon yourself, how are you going to interpret this into our lesson? Faith to faith, new man, this and that. Okay, Trevon.
Is the washing part learn what to do and then the make you clean start doing?
Yeah, it is. Exactly. Okay, so let's expound some more. Let's talk about this, Trevon. With that being said, inside of your personal life, which part is this talking about?
Well, mm, I would say the correction that you may receive, and when that temptation comes, the correction that you got, you apply the correction in that trial or that um, thing that you face.
Okay, so good. So now, in addition to that, you you know the thing that you're pretty good at. Do you need to wash that and make that clean? You're good at it. Pretty good at it. Give yourself some recognition, some rejoicing. The thing that you're pretty good at. Is it talking about that? Wash you, make you. So what is it talking about? The thing you're struggling in. It doesn't take away, because sometimes I think that we take away our righteousness. You understand, Trevon? So don't take away your righteousness, the thing that you're pretty good at, okay? But you still got to wash and make you clean, right? All right. That's being responsible in the sight of the Most High. That's holding yourself accountable. And when we do that, now the Most High is going to work with us because it's something that we don't see. And the thing that we don't see is not that we don't see that it's wrong, but we just don't know how to get it right. But then it says, now put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. So in the sight of the Most High, Trevon, the Most High, we understand that the Most High calls it evil, even though the Most High did call our application and our other thing righteous and call that good, but he's confronting the thing that we need to be washed and made clean. And that's fine because that's what we want, because we understand that's what's going to get us to the next level of faith and help us to be bigger and better and stronger from faith to faith, right? Because we're trying to be perfect, right? Okay. Then it says, cease to do evil. What is that part, Job? Cease to do evil. What is that? Okay, Trevon. Cease to do evil. What is that? Don't go away. I'm not trying to trick you.
Cease from doing what you was doing.
Cease from doing what you were doing. Exactly. That's exactly it. Because, Trevon, trying to tackle everything in your life is a big responsibility. It's something that we know that we got to do, but right now the Most High is put it in showing you what's in front of you. He's dealing with you. You're not trying to bug out or go crazy. A lot of times people, they lose it. They say, this is too much. I can't take it. I'm overwhelmed. It is too much, because their mind may be convicting them and calling out every single thing that they're doing. Or someone else might call out every single thing that you're doing. With patience do we run the race, with temperance, with some self-control. It's not saying that just like when you go to work with your dad and you had a big project, are you doing everything in one day or is there steps? Oh, okay. And the longer you show up and you complete a step, it's done. You go to the next step. And when y'all finish, you look back taking pictures and real happy with it, ain't it? That's how we have to go about constructing our lives as well. Okay. So let's see. Verse 17, learn to do well. John, if you continue on what Javon was talking about, you'll be on the right track. As soon as you step off the trail, you ain't gonna get it. What is that? Learn to do well.
I want to say,
Speak loud.
I want to say, learn like the part where it says watch, so things that you're bad at, learn how to overcome those.
Right. Learn about that. See, a lot of times people, they apologize or they get over something, but then they don't edify and teach themselves about it. They don't study about it. They don't go in about it. They don't stick with it. They don't learn the traps. They don't learn Satan. They don't learn the knowledge about it. They don't learn how the Most High feels about it. They don't learn about it. You got to learn about that thing that you just overcame. You got to study that. You got to figure it out so that you can stay on a level so you can stay strong. You got to learn about that. Learn to do well. You can't just get complacent and get comfortable and feel that I'm content, because now the season of Satan is gone. Satan is coming back with a vengeance, man, with 7 other spirits, and he gonna get in because you did no work pertaining to the thing that you have been stumbling over. That's coming in, and other things are coming in too. And then where's the mental state? Hopeless and helpless. Can't nobody even talk to you. You'd be like, hello, are you in there? Hey, brother. You're calling to a brother. Hey, brother. You're knocking, but brother ain't responding. Hey, brother. Brother don't want to hear from you. Hey, sister. Sister don't want to hear from you. And it ain't sister on a bus stop. They don't want to hear from you because they did not this work. They got a break and they went out to eat. They went to the park. Now, some of you might think, oh, you talk about me. I ain't talking about you versus nothing else in the world. They went roller skating. They went on the trip. They watched a sitcom. They did all manner of things. But working to stay clean, to stay washed and putting away the evil and learning. This is a process that you got to do in the thing that needs done for yourself to be perfect. You keep thinking about the last thing that you did. Oh, yeah, I don't eat pork no more. Oh, yeah, I keep the Sabbath. Brothers, yeah, I got fringes on. And everybody's complaining about the devil with fringes on or the devil in a skirt, because the devil with fringes on did not learn or study or continue cleansing the cleansing process. Because the route of transitioning, you're going to be like, let me do it better. Let me do it. Let me get it cleaner. What else? I want to deal with this.
And to this, learning to do well, it's like when you overcome something, you feel good, right? But how do you continue to do well? One of the key things is you got to find out how Satan got in. So a lot of people don't do